Holy nostalgia.
On today's episode, we put the OG Toy Story to the ultimate test. Somebody's poisoned the water hole.
There's a snake in my
It's a
boots.
snake in my boot.
To infinity and beyond.
Oh, dude, I was gonna do that, but I
The
remember
claw. The claw.
I did that for the Lightyear episode, which everyone check out the Lightyear episode. Not because we watched the movie,
I did.
because you did the trailer of it. But well,
Yeah.
anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves, people. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Nostalgia Test podcast. I'm Dan Dissinger here in LA, recording from the park. So if you hear
From
some
the
people going,
park.
pickleball, dogs, people running around, I'm at the park. It's what we do in LA.
I think that's
Podcasts everywhere.
hilarious.
Shout out
that's
podcasts
hilarious.
everywhere or anywhere.
Oh, yeah. What is it? Podcast? Yeah.
I think it's
what is it called?
podcasts anywhere or
Yeah.
everywhere. Whatever. You guys are awesome.
Yeah. It's so funny because like I'm imagining I'm walking by and like now we're gonna be talking about the Toy Story and you're gonna be like talking about something about Woody and someone's walking by, like walking their dog, and like if you get into yelling, you're gonna like people are gonna be like, what the hell is this guy yelling
What
about?
is he yelling about?
But it's LA,
No one
so
cares. It's
no.
like they're probably like, oh, some other guy recording a podcast in the park.
Yeah. Oh, here we go, another podcast
Or content.
Anyways, guys, welcome back to the
Yes.
Nostalgia Test podcast. I hope you've been back with us. We had the MXPX episode that dropped, the Mario butt conversation. Because Dan only wanted to talk about the butt.
It was a great clip, though.
It was a good clip. It was a good clip. I like your post on Instagram, guys. If you don't follow us, stop right now. Go follow us.
Yes.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the things that everybody always asks you to. If this is your first time, I'm Manny. Dan is just introducing. He's in LA. I'm in New York. We're two very best friends who've known each other for over 20 years now, and we put the pop culture to the test.
That's right.
Our pop culture to the test. What's the rule? It has to be over 10 years old.
10 years old. Yeah.
10 years old or older, and we put it to the test, and we want you guys to recommend what we should be putting to the test, because if it was up to me, I would only do movies. If it was up to Dan, I think he'd only do music, but we want to put other things to the test. Food, we don't stop anywhere, whatever it might be. Liquid. Absolutely. Ice cream. Liquid. Yeah, liquid, baby. Little Sunny D, little purple drink.
The Sunny D live was good, but anyway,
the Sunny D live was good. We have to do it live soon.
We've been doing this for quite a bit. I mean, we're coming up on our 100th episode soon, which is crazy to think about. And we haven't done Toy Story, and here we are now.
I've always wanted to, and I almost wanted to do a marathon. So I made it into a marathon.
You made it into a marathon.
Yeah, and I gotta say, a lot easier to get through 1 through 4 than Rocky. Like the movies are just that well structured in timing wise, that you don't feel like you're going through a marathon that is like, oh my god, what did I do to myself? Because like all of them are just as long as like Rocky 4. So like imagine a bunch of Rocky 4s. I think that's manageable.
Can you imagine a bunch of Rocky 4s? Crazy.
You see that picture I sent you of the Rocky figurines, the action figures?
Yeah,
bro, that store is right down the block from the brewery, and I was like, dude, I could do a podcast right from here.
Yeah, bro, let's do it.
And I think I might. I was talking to him a very long time. It was very interesting to talk to somebody who's in the collectibles business and how it's changed. He's been there for 25 years.
Oh my god.
We need to do an episode with him, because like I was asking him, like, does he still have passion in it? Because just like me brewing beer eventually turns into a business, right?
Right.
So like I almost wanted people kept coming in and out, so I couldn't really get into it with him. And I was more talking to him as a business owner over, the nostalgic part of it.
Right.
And I kind of was just like, with the coming of eBay and the online sales and all that stuff, like it's just a business at this point. Like he can't, I wonder if he's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. I'm looking at Rocky and Apollo,
Uh,
like, oh, who cares,
uh,
So I did want to get into that with him because
mhm,
I think he was like 8 years older than us.
mm,
So like, it was interesting. It was a
mm,
cool story though.
mm.
It was a cool story.
I,
So,
I I
anyways,
look forward to that.
whatever. That was a tangent. Um, we are doing Toy Story. I told Dan, let's do a movie. Full disclosure, the episodes you're watching, we recorded a couple of times already. We haven't recorded it in a
A new one.
while,
No, we haven't recorded a new episode in months.
months.
And this is, I think, is a good start. It was a nice, easy way in back to what we
Hmm.
do.
Yeah,
Um,
guys, we didn't want to make this
yeah,
too difficult.
no, but let's get some
Little
facts out
hour and
there.
20 minute like hour and 40 minute movie.
Hour and 45
Like,
minute movie with
yeah.
not with nothing much happening. But
Oh,
let's get
whoa,
let's get
whoa, Dan.
let's
The
get some
first 20
facts.
minutes of this movie was jam packed with adult humor. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's get some facts in there, right? So, from the Wikipedia, Toy Story is a 1995 American computer animated comedy film produced by Pixar Animation and was released by Walt Disney Pictures, the first installment in the Toy Story franchise. It was the first entirely computer animated feature film, as well as the first feature film from Pixar. So, this started it all. It was directed by John Lasseter in his feature debut, a directorial debut, and produced by Bonnie Arnold, Ralph Guggenheim, from a screenplay written by Joss Whedon, Andrew Stanton, Joel Cohen, and Alec Sokolow. And it stars with, it's starring a bunch of amazing people, but most importantly, and I'll get to that, its music was featured by Randy Newman, which is like made this movie so much better. Like his voice is like the most memorable voice in the whole film.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and it was executive produced by Steve Jobs, which was so weird to see in the credits because like
Dude,
I totally didn't even realize that.
I didn't know
Um,
that. And Kristen brought that up. She's like, wait, Steve Jobs executive produced this film?
it's so weird to see his name just
And
come
like, think
across
about
the
how
screen.
long ago this was. This is like when it was just Macintosh, like, and people like who
Yeah,
owned a Macintosh,
right.
like, not, I
Yeah,
mean, my uncle Bobby had a Macintosh. That was
my
it.
uncle had one too. It
Yeah,
was
that
really
was
weird
it.
to they looked so odd. They looked like those robots in Star Wars that were like stolen by those other aliens and then right like the one that's like blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like that at that point. Now they're nice and beautiful and I
Oh,
got all Apple
beautiful.
products now.
Yeah, I'm
I
looking at an
sold
Apple
out.
product right now. I can't. You did. I'm so happy that when you text me, it's a blue dot, a blue text thing, and then when you
Yeah,
like something and like thumbs up
it
it,
works.
I don't have to get a text that says
You
Dan
liked it.
thumbs up this.
I know. Anyway, the film features voices of Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Don Rickles, Jim Varney, Wallace Shawn, John Ratzenberger, Annie Potts, one of only 2 or 3 women in the entire film, Arlie Ernie, John Morris, Laurie Metcalf, and Eric Von Deeten. Um, yeah, I mean, I just want to also say this in the facts. It was budgeted at $30 million and it made 394.4 million, the highest grossing film of 1995.
Crazy.
It beat out Casino.
I mean, of course it did. You get
I
more
know, right?
people in the seats when it's rated. What is it rated? PG.
PG, I believe. Let me go back and see, but I'm pretty sure it's rated PG. I mean, it had to have been,
There
right?
was some PG-13 jokes in there. They
They
snuck them in. They
they
snuck
did.
them in.
They
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 snuck
snuck
them
him
in.
in, and they snuck
Mr.
in some.
Potato Head's got some horny issues. Let me
He's
just
got
tell
some
you.
issues, and I love Don Rickles, rest in peace. Jim Varney, rest in peace. But Mr. Potato Head was a
Yo,
dick.
Ham and Mr. Potato Head, low key best duo in that franchise.
Okay, I want to see the whole franchise, so don't ruin it
Oh
for me.
my
And I
god.
know that I'm way behind on this.
I just gotta tell you, and I can't believe you haven't seen the other ones. And
I don't know what happened.
I did the marathon yesterday,
Mhm.
and I was like, it was fun to see because when you watch it again when you're not and you're really trying to pay attention to all the things that
Yeah.
are going on,
Hmm.
like Ham is constantly reading. He's constantly taking in information.
Really?
He's like the guy you want on your trivia team.
Okay.
Ham knows, like anytime there's a situation, Ham's like, yeah, and
Yeah.
he has
Yeah.
like an interesting fact. He's like Jeremy. Like
Oh.
he has an interesting fact of what's
Mhm,
going on
mhm, mhm.
all the time. Like there's and you don't even want to deny that it's true. You're just like,
Yeah.
okay,
Ha-
like why not?
Have you ever
I
done
believe him.
trivia? Like you, obviously you've done
Yeah.
trivia. I'm
Yeah.
I've done trivia. I did trivia when I was in Colorado, and I was on my team with my friends that there, and they somehow deemed me the sports person, and I didn't know anything about sports, and like I was like, I don't know. It's out of hand. I was
That's
like, I
great.
don't know, but it was weird.
I've done trivia in my own place.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Samish plug, Lithology Brewing Company, 211A Main Street in Farmingdale.
Okay. All right. So let's get back to Toy Story. Okay. So Manny,
Yeah.
um, do you remember seeing this for the first time?
Yes,
Mm. And
I
what
do.
was your thoughts when you first saw it? Do you remember kind of how like the I guess like the craze of it, right? Because like again, Pixar's first film, first fully computer animated film. It was totally like a brand new idea, right?
Yeah. For disclosure, this is my by far most memorable Pixar film.
Mm,
Besides Nemo, Toy Story 1 has
mm,
always been something burned into my brain.
mm,
I I think I stopped counting how much I've watched this movie. It's been a while,
mm, mhm.
but to the point where that I remember this movie so much that when watching the other movies, I
Yeah.
played this movie.
Mm,
Um, and I recall leaving this movie and wanting, I think I might have watched this movie in the theater twice.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were young. I mean, 95. So um
We were
I
yeah.
definitely asked to go again.
Mm. So like I remember this movie coming out and I remember seeing it. Now I don't know if I saw it on in the theater or or if I saw it in like at home, like renting it.
Look at like
Um
Blu-ray.
yeah, oh, yeah, I didn't have Blu-ray, dude. My dad didn't even have cable. We didn't have like again,
If you watched it at home, you watched it on a DVD.
so we were 28 when this came. No. Wait a
No,
second.
then you watched it. No,
2023
95.
1995. Yeah,
So you were
28. No, 28
oh
years ago. 28
28.
years ago.
Bro, you were
So wait, hold
80.
on. Okay.
You were 82.
13. Okay,
13
13.
years old.
I totally did. I did the right math, but then I applied the number incorrectly, which is
There you
why
go.
I'm a podcaster and I'm not a mathematician. Okay.
Ah,
Okay. Anyway, that's going to be a quote on this one. So we
28.
were 13 years old. 13. I still didn't have cable.
Okay.
So there's no way I had a Blu-ray. I had a DVD player.
I didn't have a
Possibly.
Blu-ray, but I definitely had a
Possibly.
DVD. I had like that DVD slash VCR
Oh,
combo
I've
that
had that stuff.
you thought that was awesome, but it wasn't.
Was
Like they were
not.
both shitty ass
Yeah.
like quality.
Terrible.
But I definitely remember watching this in college. Like once it came out on DVD, wanted to watch it again and still
Hmm.
loved it. So like
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
definitely something that, especially for like being the first feature film,
Yeah.
was awesome. Like I
Huge.
remember it like Pixar, this was like the heyday of Pixar. Like remember when we were watching like the orange years, the Nickelodeon? Like
Yeah. Shout out.
this was like the golden years or whatever you want to call years of Pixar.
Uh-huh.
Like Pixar, I remember Pixar could do no wrong
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
during these years.
Right. Right.
Like whatever movie
Hmm.
they put out, you were just like in awe of.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this was like huge. I mean, I remember seeing it and loving it.
Yeah.
I remember it being so well. Here's the thing, and I said this to you prior to hitting record. I remember as a kid, I'm like, oh man, so many, this is such a great movie, and blah blah blah. And then when I rewatched it, I immediately was like, wait, I thought there was more that happened.
So I think that's a big thing
I,
with all kid movies.
well, I mean, I was thinking about that, and then I was comparing it to things like The Lion King and stuff like that, and I'm like, a lot of stuff happened in The Lion King. Someone dies, like there's a whole adventure, then there's another person that dies, and there's a battle scene and all this stuff. And in Toy Story, it's visually unbelievable to watch. And then you got Randy Newman, obviously, you gotta spend it. Right? And then
Yeah.
you have Tom Hanks, who, in my opinion, he makes this whole movie so unbelievable. And I said it, I was like, it reminds me of the Tom Hanks from like Turner and Hooch. And that's why like I was so drawn to it, because I love Turner and Hooch.
Okay. I definitely agree that like Tom Hanks, first of all, Tom Hanks is this franchise.
Uh-huh.
Like watching the whole thing, you're like, oh, this movie isn't about Andy. It's not about Buzz at all. It's
No,
about
no.
like
Thank God.
Buzz is a side character that's comic relief. Like Tom Hanks makes like what this whole Toy Story should just be called Woody's story, because like it is
Hmm.
all Woody, all Woody, all the time. He's
It's
the
all Woody
glue.
all the time.
He's the glue. Make that a quote, baby. All Woody all the time. He's the glue. And Tom Hanks is perfect for this role.
Yeah.
Like it reminded me like, all right, he's you know the big. He's the character. Josh.
Oh God, yeah.
Um, like that's he was perfect for this role.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
like, I don't think I could have another person play Woody.
No. And they did want someone, according to the trivia on IMDb, they actually wanted Jim Carrey and Paul Newman.
No,
So Paul Newman would have played Woody.
would have played Woody,
Yeah.
and they wanted Jim Carrey as Buzz.
Yeah. Yeah.
My God,
And also Billy Crystal, he was also asked to play Buzz Lightyear, and he said no. And then according to the trivia, like he was so upset that he made that choice. So then when Lasseter called him to be in Monsters Inc., Billy Crystal's wife answered the phone and then said, "Hey, it's Lasseter," and he just took the phone and he just immediately said yes without saying anything else, because he was like so upset that he said no to Toy Story.
really
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Crazy.
interesting,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, I don't see. It's so funny when people like how things work out, because I don't see any other duo playing these characters.
Oh, no, not at all. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Like you saw how people like were up in arm about the fact that Buzz Lightyear wasn't played by Tim Allen, even
Which,
though
yeah,
which like I kind of get, but at the same time, one's a toy, the other one's the actual
yeah,
person that it was based on. But like, I just don't. I think it was perfectly casted. But like, it's funny that it's like accidentally casted because somebody said no. So like
exactly.
when people say like these are castings perfect, it's like, well, there was a little bit of luck that happened.
There was a
Like
little bit of luck
yeah.
there.
But
Yeah.
I'm glad it happened that way.
Yeah, and it's funny. I think he was Tom Hanks was recording his parts in between the breaks between A League of Their Own and Sleepless in Seattle. So during the breaks of sleep, yeah, he didn't want to record his dialogue during the breaks of Philadelphia or Forrest Gump, because he felt he shouldn't do comedic roles in between minutes of playing serious roles.
That's funny. He's
Which
like,
I don't know. Forrest Gump, like,
come on. Yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
I know it's supposed to be serious, but I mean, I think people laughed their way all the way through that movie.
It was I like that. I mean,
Unfairly, though.
I feel like that movie is like it's a good movie. I thought it was a good movie, but
Sure.
like, yeah, it's there's some comic relief in that
Yeah.
movie. Like
Okay, so in Toy Story, so
we should put that one to the test. It wouldn't
dear God,
I don't know.
dear God.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing about Toy Story is definitely the it's just the way the story is told. I mean, I like how you follow the toys, because to me, I mean, I was watching it and immediately I was like, I always would thought that my toys were doing something when I wasn't around them.
So I was talking about that with somebody today that this movie could never be based on nowadays because there's so many cameras in people's houses now
Yeah.
that if toys needed to do that, they would need to take over the cameras.
Yeah.
Like I was analyzing that today. Like, oh, if that actually was, if it's
Yeah.
true,
Yeah.
like these toys were, I thought it was great. I thought the premise is like, all right, we went on a tangent. We were talking about our first impressions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea of this story
Mhm.
is so perfect because so with me with Pixar is that they choose a topic that everyone could relate to. And that makes
Yeah.
sense because you're trying to make money for the masses
Sure.
to be pop, right?
Right.
We're talking about pop culture. We're putting pop culture to the test, right?
Right.
The only way it's pop is that if everyone likes it, not just kids.
Right.
And everybody could relate, and everybody's been a kid to personifying a toy,
Right.
right? And like how many times as a kid, and this is boy, girl, they, them, have looked at a figure and made it into anything with imagination. And it was a perfect it's to me it was a perfect stepping stone to Pixar because they personified everything
Yeah.
toys, fish, rats, everything. But of course you could do that with animals, but starting with toys was perfect
Oh, I
because
love it.
you can make the toy do anything. The toy
Love
could
it.
be anything, right? We talked about this in the Hangout episode. Check out the Hangout episode if you
Oh,
haven't seen it.
and you
And
can
there's
watch it
more,
on YouTube.
and there's more coming.
Yeah.
But like, and I think I brought this up like the day that I had, I stopped playing with action figures, right? The
Mm.
day that I stopped imagining, right? So like this movie for me at 13, 14, whatever, 15 years old we were,
Yep.
um,
13, 14. Yeah.
we were still in the we're playing with toys
Absolutely.
a little bit.
Sure.
Even if we were a little bit older,
Mm-hmm.
we could remember very recently what we were doing with our toys. And
Mm-hmm.
then if you were older as adults, you remembered being a child with that imagination, and
Mm-hmm.
it brings you right into it and you
Right.
go into it. And of course, Pixar has and Disney does this, has a great way to mix adult humor into kids movies
Yeah.
without kids really knowing what's going on
Yeah.
because it's over their heads. Like, dude, that's why Mr. Potato Head was there. That's
Yeah.
why that's why the pig was there. The
Yeah.
first 10 minutes of that movie
Yeah.
is Ham and Mr. Potato Head totally going after the adults.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, because
Absolutely.
you have Don Rickles doing the voice of Mr. Potato Head, so of course that's for the adults. Like that's for the adults, 100%. Don
When
Rickles.
he's like, you're
Like,
a hockey puck. Like,
oh,
that's a
dude,
joke only the adults.
I
Only
thought
the
there was a
adults
problem with that though. When he's like,
understand.
"Shut up, hockey
Yeah.
puck," I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm
I
saying
was
like
like,
that was there's parents here taking these kids to
yeah,
this movie. We need to give them, and the best part of that was you do it right away.
yeah,
So
you
the
get him
parents
right away,
aren't pissed. You get
right?
them right away. So now the parents are like, ha, that's funny. They're playing towards me. Now you could be as
Yeah,
kitschy, as kiddish as you want, because the parents got their joke. They
well,
got all.
and they got that, and they got the guy who did the voice of the soldiers, from Full Metal Jacket.
Oh,
That's who voiced that, right? And
yeah.
then maybe not for kids. Well, actually, maybe their parents, like the parents of the kids, I think maybe. But like Jim Varney's in this, like and he's like, hey Vern, like the guy who so
Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot of that in there, and Tom Hanks as well. I mean, so like it wasn't just some like nameless voices. Like these were huge stars, and also John
This was the
Ratzenberger,
first
who
at
is
this.
from Cheers.
Yes.
He's
And
the voice of
they
the
even
pig.
played that. They played
Yeah,
that up about like the
yeah,
mailman, him being like he knew something about the post office and stuff.
right.
So like they played jokes that you understood. Best part was that I guess this is right around the time when animation started hiring actors that you knew from live action films,
Possibly, yes. Maybe that's like around this time.
right? And like, did you get the joke when like Bo Peep wanted to make out with um Woody, and she's like, I'm only a couple blocks away. And she was she walked by the ABC
Yeah.
blocks.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
was like, come on, like
Yeah. Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
so subtle, and I was like, as a kid, I wouldn't have gotten it. It would have just
Yeah.
because you're not paying attention to that.
But
You
I
don't even
also
care what's going on.
but I also asked the same question I think I did as a kid that I did that day. I'm like, well, isn't Bo Peep just a lamp? Like she wasn't like
Yes.
a toy. She's a lamp, right?
Here's the thing about that. I wanted to think about that, and the question about when these things come to life. Um, I would assume only when a kid brings imagination.
Mm.
Like my theory of Toy Story is that every toy only comes to life, and you'll see this in Toy Story 4. If a kid brings imagination or personification to that toy. Before
Oh.
that, it's just an inanimate object.
Oh, wow.
That's how I thought.
Okay.
But as you go on, you see um
Mm.
figures just come to life because somebody touches them or they
Mm.
walk by. But I had thought because Woody only remembers Andy. Woody never talks about the previous owner of Woody. Woody's from the 1960s. His first
Right.
owner isn't Andy. There's a theory that his owner is the mom's father's or the dad's father, and you don't see the father because the dad died
Well,
or something.
that's I was gonna say there's like only there are no parents in this
Yeah,
movie,
but we know
right?
that about Disney.
Kids, and we know about kids movies also. Like there are hardly any of her parents that do anything.
Because it's not about that, right? And then this specifically Toy Story 1, the humans are not drawn with detail.
No,
They
they're
actually
like,
look
yeah,
they actually look very animated, but you look at the floor and you're
hmm,
like, I think I'm looking at the floor.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
look at the bed, the
hmm,
quilt,
yeah,
you're like, oh my God, it looks like a quilt.
yeah,
They did so well. It got better. The
hmm.
humans got better, but I understand what they were doing. They're not trying to make the humans look cute or lovable because
No,
it's not about the
they looked frightening.
yes, it's not about the humans. It's
Hmm.
about the toys.
Right.
So like my thing is like maybe I'm wrong about that the kid has to give it personification, but yes, like Bo Peep was a little weird because like was it a lamp? Were you able to play with the lamp? Obviously, you could take them apart,
Well, the
but she was
problem is,
porcelain.
yeah. So according to the trivia, it was supposed to be Barbie because it was supposed to be a scene at the end. Remember, at the end of the movie, 28-year spoiler, but like if you when they're coming up on the moving van, right, on the race car, Barbie is supposed to come out of the truck on her in her car like Terminator 2 and like rescue them,
Oh
but
wow.
Mattel didn't want them to have Barbie or whatever because they didn't think the movie was going to be a hit. So
Until
then
then
they
they
until it
added
was, and then they added Barbie
because
apparently.
Barbie is involved in 3
So
like
that's
a
why
lot.
so
A
that's why
lot.
Bo Peep is in it and not Barbie. So it was supposed to be
Oh, all
Barbie.
because
Yeah.
Mattel was like,
Yeah,
but it
no.
was just funny because so Bo Peep becomes a very big character in 4
She's a very
because like
popular lamp.
yeah, you need to watch it
I
because Bo
know, I
Peep, like
know.
spoiler alert, like Bo Peep and Woody go through a crazy adventure, and like 3 is sad because Bo Peep's not in it. There's a whole thing, so like you need to.
Hmm. I mean, this movie reminded me of like the Brave Little Toaster. Like as soon as like the toys as like Woody and Buzz like are launched out of the room because
Yeah,
Woody tries to kill him. I mean, there's a lot of
yeah.
like
Oh, dude, did you see
murder.
the Indiana Jones esque um ball rolling? The
Yes.
globe is rolling, and
Yeah.
the fucking arrows are going like the
Yeah, yeah,
thumbtacks.
yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is just Indiana Jones right here. And when
Yeah.
like in the second one, they do like really Star Wars themed stuff. So
Oh
like,
wow.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
because Lucas is was
Mm.
big on with Pixar.
I mean,
So
I loved all the things that they did. I think they did a lot of great things. Though, again, like I thought, for me, my favorite part is when they are at the pizza place. Like I love that part. I
greatest
love the
part.
pizza. The pizza place is amazing, and I've been there, I think it was like what, a Universal or Disney, like they have like the Pizza Planet, and I
Okay.
went to Pizza
Yo,
Planet.
Pizza Planet delivery guy plays a huge role in every movie.
Oh,
He's
really?
basically the Uber driver of these
Oh,
toys.
that's
He
hilarious.
doesn't know he is, but yeah, yeah.
But that's the
That
thing. People aren't noticing these toys run around the street sometimes. Like, I guess like it doesn't
the
matter.
you know what I thought was funny too is like, okay, so
There are no
the whole
people, and there are no other people really.
the whole point is that Buzz thinks he's real, right? But like, yet he understands not to move when humans are around.
That's what I don't get. That's what I don't get. Like, he doesn't, like, out of nowhere he just stops moving, right?
Like,
Like, it's
and like
yeah.
Woody didn't have to tell him that.
What my thing was, like, when Buzz Lightyear opens the thing, he doesn't see "Made in Taiwan" immediately.
No, he only sees it later.
Like,
Because like it's perception, right? He believes it, so he doesn't
yeah,
even want to look at that, right?
yeah.
My whole thing was like, what didn't get me, and like whatever, we're analyzing a movie about toys that are
You
talking.
are toy.
Toy, yeah,
It's like
um,
total Turner and Hooch when he was just like, "What? What?"
yeah, but like
Now I'm screaming in the park.
yeah, I'm telling you, toy. But look, I thought it was funny that certain things needed to be explained to him and other things didn't. Like the
Yeah,
toys inherently know you can't,
no,
we can't. There's a rule. Like it's almost as like they
yeah.
were born knowing, like we can't move when humans are around.
Yeah, they were in the, like, it was like the Matrix. Like, they all know what's up. And then Buzz
Mhm.
Lightyear had to, take the red pill, and then all of a sudden he loses his mind
Yeah,
for a
but
little bit.
like, but it just was funny to me that like the toy, because he wasn't personified yet.
Yeah,
The toy, he knows not. He thinks he's a space ranger, but he doesn't go to his. He gets picked up by a child, but he doesn't go to the child and says,
right,
"I halt.
exactly. He's
I'm a
being
space
played with
ranger."
all day, and he's just like,
Huh.
like, just like
Yeah,
limp, and then he's just like, "Oh, okay,
and
time to
then
fix my cardboard ship."
I wonder. Then yeah, and then I wonder, is it because you can only act that way with other toys around?
No, because they do that to Sid.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, it's a rule. Remember, he says we're gonna have to break a few rules. Like
We're gonna
Woody
have to
says, we're
break
gonna
a
have to break
free
a
rules.
few
Yeah.
rules. And so, like, I'm just like, so is Buzz Lightyear know these rules inherent, like,
No, because
instinctually?
that's where it's like there should have been a part, I think, where Woody had to be like, no, no, we can't move when this humanoid is around us because we will destroy all toys. People will
Yeah,
never play with toys. Like
no,
it'd
they
be
would
fun to see a
destroy them.
toys move, but tell me you wouldn't be like scared to shit if a
Oh,
toy
of
moved.
course, I would be freaked out.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? If
Yeah.
anything ever, the way things happen in movies happened
Yeah.
in real life, it would just destroy everything.
Yeah.
Like, because she would just be like, if a tree all of a sudden was like, "Hey, hey,
Yeah.
hey,"
No.
like, I was
Like
just
even if
like,
my dog started talking to me, no.
I know we say that. We say, we're like, "Man, it'd be awesome if our pets could
No, it
talk to
wouldn't.
us." I think wouldn't want that.
No,
I
because my dog wouldn't say what I'm trying for it to say.
No,
It would be annoying as fuck. Like imagine a dog being like, "Hey, hey, 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 hey,
that's what it would
hey,
be. Food, food,
hey,
food, food.
hey, chicken, chicken. Hey, you want to play? Hey, can you throw this? Hey,
Yeah, it wouldn't be like, "Hey, Manny, so
yeah."
how'd your day go?"
It
And
wouldn't be what like me and my wife talk. We make noise our voices like we do a Marty
we
voice,
make
like,
noises.
"Oh, hey, Dad," and it's like, no,
Yeah,
he would be annoying as fuck.
yeah. It wouldn't be
Like
like you
every
could do a
dog.
podcast with your dog.
No, it'd be interesting,
It would
but
just
no.
it would just
All
be you
right,
and the dog, like, going, "Hey, hey,
all
hey,
right.
what's that? Hey, goodbye."
Like I left today and we left him out of the cage today. He likes the cage. I left today and we were watching him on the video and he's just standing at the window waiting for us. So I'm thinking in my head, like imagine he's talking, he's like, "Are they coming back? Are they coming back? Are they coming back?"
Oh my god, that's a nostalgia test tangent right there.
Yeah.
Well,
So all right.
Pizza
So
Planet,
okay, but
love it.
before we get to Pizza Planet was one of the better. um
Mm-hmm.
parts, because he kind of also realizes stuff there, right? Too. And you realize Sid only knows Buzz, doesn't know who Woody is. Because when he gets
Yeah.
Buzz as a prize, he goes, "Oh, double prize." He doesn't name Woody as a character.
I I need to know something though about Pizza Planet. How far away is it? Because
It looks
Sid
like it's in the middle of nowhere.
at that gas station is in the middle of nowhere
How is Sid getting there?
on a skateboard. Like he's just on a skateboard and he
Like these two, the gas station and the planet look like they're in this like the shadiest looking area of
yeah,
town. Where do they
yeah.
live?
That I don't know. It's weird. I have
Because
no
even the
idea.
houses are not. I'm like, this is some weird suburban area.
Yeah.
And it's not Long Island, and
No.
it's not. It's like mid America, just mid.
Random mid America.
I'm just gonna say mid America.
And you need a car to go somewhere unless you're sitting you have a skateboard.
Yeah, but Sid is in shape. Let me tell you, because and Sid obviously doesn't talk to Andy ever.
No, but that's the thing. How does he not know who? I mean, he's got to know who he is, right?
Yeah,
They live right next door.
but they don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like Sid didn't even care that Andy was moving,
No, no. And they didn't pack a lot to move.
and they took a very long time to move.
And they took a big truck.
Bro, that truck was empty. When they opened the truck, I was like, you didn't need that truck.
It was like they were squatting in that.
I was like, you have like 4 boxes. That could have gone in your van.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was so weird.
I was like, what? Why did you need that much space in your truck? You're paying a lot. Like U-Haul didn't exist then because you could have gotten the small U-Haul. The 99 cents an hour U-Haul, not the like $50 an hour. They paid like way too much money for that
Yeah,
moving truck.
yeah.
I
Oh
thought
my
I was going to
god.
see a couch, a bed. They didn't bring anything. They brought boxes.
Oh, they just said like fucking burn it all. Let's go. They're like, we're starting a whole new life.
And which makes me think, was she moving out of her dad's house?
I don't know because I don't know anything about like
That
it's just
wallpaper was old.
oh yeah. Yeah, you don't know anything about the family. You just learn it's just about the toys. And that's what's interesting. It's just
Sure.
about the toys. Has nothing to do with anything else
I want to
but the
know more
toys.
about the family.
Yeah, I needed to know some backstory. But then again, whatever. I mean, would that have added to this story? Probably not.
No,
Right?
because the real story is about, the coming of age of the Buzz Lightyear, who they consider is like dumb, right? Like he
Yeah.
plays this like dumb jock space cadet
Hmm.
toy,
Yeah.
and also the heart that Woody has, because Woody
Yeah.
obviously, although is jealous,
Oh, he's like an egomaniac.
he is, but in the end, Woody always wants what's good for Andy.
Yeah.
At first, he wants that, but then he wants it obviously just to be him. But then he realizes, like, there's a part of him that realizes,
Mhm.
well, just because we both can't, like, Andy, I don't want to, like, at first he's like, I want to get rid of him. And then he's like, oh, like, if I get rid of him, Andy's going to be upset.
Yeah.
And, like, I can't do that. And
Yeah.
that's worse off than me getting rid of Buzz, because
Yeah.
now Andy's not, So, like,
Right.
in the end, Woody does have a good heart, and
Hmm.
like he like turns around and is,
Yeah.
basically trying to save Buzz's life and
Oh,
stuff.
from like Hostel One or Saw, like it was just like
Yeah, dude.
horrifying. Dude, that kid, like at first I remember all those things that like the articles written about like how Sid's creative. Dude, no way, dude. Like he was set to burn like Woody on a barbecue. It would be
I
different
thought it
if
was
he
crazy
had
that
no toys
none
and
of
he
the
was
toys
creating his
talk.
own toys.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah, that's
wasn't.
true. You're right. He wasn't. He was taking other toys and just dismantling them and putting them together and
He
stuff.
had a
And none of
can
the
of
toy,
gasoline in his
none
room.
of, what was creepy about that was that none of them talked.
No, they didn't. It was so weird.
None of them talked. So like that made it even creepier. Like that movie all of a sudden turned into a horror film,
Oh yeah.
right? And of course, painting like rock and roll people horrible.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
emo rock. If you were into
Mhm.
like, there was one that said like Mega Dork was the
What's
name of the
that?
thing. I was like, what the hell is that?
Supposed to
So
be like a
like,
Megadeth poster, probably.
yeah, but like I thought that scene was crazy because like I'm thinking as a kid, like, oh, this is really dark over here. And then like they even like kind of mentioned like the dad's an alcoholic.
Yeah, he's was in that room. I felt bad for his sister. That girl just has to fend for herself.
I know.
Like,
But the mom was like downstairs and doing nothing.
yeah, nothing, nothing at all.
And you
Like,
could tell that everybody was afraid of that father because even the dog, when the dog went
oh
into
yeah,
that room, the dog freaking was got out. Like,
yo,
oh,
that was some like radio flyer level fear.
yes. Yes.
That's what it
Bro,
reminded
I
me
was
of.
thinking the same thing. I'm like, yo, this, if you wake up this dad, this is not good.
Yeah, yeah. That was a whole that whole part of the movie was so dark, and also like Sid had like a can of gasoline in his room. He had
I
well,
knew a kid that was like this on my block.
oh my god,
And I was almost scared of him because of what I did to him as a kid.
oh
And I
boy,
saw him in high school and he's like, yo, remember when you did this to me? I was like, oh God. Like, well, yeah, but I remember them the same kind of backyard and everything.
yeah,
Blow shit
yeah,
up. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
was that was crazy. I was just like uh, when the doll when the when the toy that came out with just the doll head and like the metal like skeleton like
Yeah.
walk like that shit was creepy as fuck, and it didn't have an eye and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and like then you had the legs on the fishing pole, you had like I mean it was horrifying. I mean that
It
whole
was.
part was really like scary. I mean there was a doll that came out of the thing with or another thing with like a nail in its head. I'm like this kid is this is the that's the type of stuff that's interesting about Disney movies or like kids movies is like the fear that they put into them, right? There's a fear aspect of something, right? There, and it's supposed to be funny, but it goes to a point where you're just like, oh my God, like that could be like that could really scare the fuck out of someone, especially like Sid himself could like you said, reminds you of someone. Now, if a little kid's watching this and it reminds them of like their neighbor or their literal neighbor or someone, they'd be like, "Oh my God, like I'm never gonna go outside ever again, never
Yeah.
again."
I mean, I thought it was like it would. They did scare him though, right? So, like, if you were
God,
watching
yeah.
this and you were that kid and you were like, "Oh my God, like these toys could be real,"
Mhm.
and like, I thought that scene was crazy when he's like, and they come out of the dirt and stuff like that,
Yeah, that was
and he
good.
turns his head and he's like,
Yeah.
"We all are watching." Like, even Woody got
Exorcist shit. Yeah,
like
that was.
Woody got creepy.
Yeah,
Like,
Woody did get creepy.
I mean, like all that could have gone wrong, right?
Yeah,
Like again, if you had that nowadays, like that's being recorded now, toys have been outed.
yeah, it
Like
would be right on
destroy
Instagram.
you destroy, you've they chuckied that was a Chucky
Yeah,
section of the movie.
yeah, that was the Chucky section.
But he had to do it. Like think about how much he had to save Buzz
Mm-hmm.
to break that rule.
Yeah, yeah,
Like no like you're talking about toys that have been thrown away, arms that have been taken apart, like all these things destroyed. But like he's like, we got to break this rule, or else my
yeah,
my guy's best new toy is going
yeah,
to explode and die, and
yeah.
Andy's going to be destroyed for the rest of his life. Like
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hanks had this like, Woody had this like psychiatrist level thinking of him.
He was like the Obi-Wan of
Yeah.
like the toys because like
Yes.
he knows all these things, and if like it's what you're saying, right, like this idea, because I didn't see the other movies, but that he was passed down over time, that he's a toy that has like a lot of experience, right? Then
Absolutely.
and so like it
Like
makes
they
it
say he
makes
was
sense.
made in the 60s. So
Mhm.
like I think he only talks about Andy in all four of the franchises, but I think that's and the Bonnie as well. But like he has an understanding about kids, and I think because he's been around a long time. which then freaks me out because now you're saying toys live forever. So you could get into an existential crisis of like, imagine thinking that as a toy, like
It's like
unless you get melted.
yeah.
Because look, like Sid was able to put these toys together, and now they're in torturous lifestyle of not being like what they were before. They can't talk, and now they're forever going to live, unless like melted in a garbage chute, which almost happens in another movie that they put him in. But like the toy never dies.
No.
So the toy has to be along forever. So the toy has to. So that would mean humans are like dogs to the way we treat dogs. Like when I lost my dog, 16-year-old, 1 month shy of 16, Rocky, God rest his, I don't know why I said God, but rest his soul. He, I was only able to have him for 16 years, and I'm gonna live past that and think about him and stuff. These toys lose their humans and have to constantly get a new human to feel something, but know that that human is not going to keep them or love them that much at a certain time, and they have to find another human, or else they're a lost toy, dude. Like they gotta do this. They gotta do this for eternity.
It's
Unless
like a
they get
hellscape, dude. Like what you're saying is like unless like you get a good toy family who passes toys down to their children, then like you live forever as a lost toy
yes,
somewhere. Like I mean,
but
when
like
Woody says like, "Oh my God, I'm a lost toy,"
yes,
like now that scene already was scary when he said that. I was like, "Oh my God, yeah, imagine that. Like,
yeah,
what do you do? It's like being a lost shoe."
yeah, dude. Like,
Like,
but like that's why you got to watch the other ones because it gets even deeper with this stuff, right? In different ways to be a toy, and like talking about like the attic being thrown into the attic or shelved. Okay,
oh, I can
so
imagine.
like that where they almost are okay being thrown into the attic because then at least in the attic they can move around, right?
Yeah.
Because you're hardly going to have any humans show up and stuff, and you're just going to like be up there forever until they like get passed down to a yard sale, and then when you go to a yard sale, then you got to be worried about whether you're going to be a Sid family or a Andy family,
Or a
right?
collector who just puts
Or a
you on a
collector who
shelf.
puts you on a shelf. Again, they tackle this in the other movies, okay?
Wow.
So like, and then like being okay with being a lost toy and being played with by many different kids and like or being thrown into a preschool and being like thrown into paint and just beat up and drooled on. Like it's torture. Like these guys live forever. Unless they get thrown into a burnt, like unless they get burnt.
Which is
Like you can't,
horrible. I mean, do
because
they feel
like think
pain?
about
They
it.
don't feel pain, right?
It's almost like I don't know.
Because
They
like
could smell.
I guess they feel pain, yeah.
Yeah,
If they
and
smell and they feel
Woody got that
pain.
dot on his head,
Oh, right.
bro.
I'm just saying because when Buzz
This
lost his
is a
arm, he
torturous
didn't really do
lifestyle.
anything. He was just like, bruh.
No,
That's why I was like, can't they just jump out Sid's window? I was like, who cares?
and let
Just
me ask
jump
you,
right
why
into the
does
bush.
RC need a remote? Why does RC need a remote to go get them? Why can't he just go and get them?
Yeah, exactly. Why can't he just go? If no one's playing
Like
with him, he
if
just stays there.
RC,
He's just
yeah,
like, oh my
RC
God.
is like watching his best friend, like king of the bedroom, like running, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta wait for the remote control."
I gotta wait for someone to pick up the remote, dude. I thought you're sentient. Just go.
Like, just go,
Oh my God. All right. So okay. So
dude. These toys don't die.
all right.
Even what about that guy, the soldier who got stepped on by Andy's
Oh
mom, and he's like walking,
yeah.
like and he
Yeah.
didn't. It's like, kill me, melt me, please, just melt me.
Now he's just gonna be a broken toy. But I had broken toys and I just kept them.
Yeah, I'm saying, man, being a toy would be almost, it's crazy because you live forever until, even if you're in a landfill, do you die?
No. You're
No,
just in a
because those
landfill.
other toys came up
Yeah, you're
out of
just in
the.
a landfill at that point.
So you basically want to be, if you want to die, you gotta be put into a fire.
You have to be, yeah, you probably have to be chopped into a million pieces and then burned into ashes.
Oh my god.
But then I'm pretty sure whatever spirit was in that toy goes to another toy.
Okay.
Okay, wait a second. Okay. What was your favorite part? Then we're gonna put this to the test. If this, I wait, Andy is the most ridiculous character. He doesn't know anything that's ever going on. His toys vanish. He's like, "Well, it was just right here," and then he's in the car, and then
And
he's
then he's like, I
in
told
the
you, it's where
car
you
at the
left
end.
it. No, but that goes back to like the joke that like when when you couldn't find things and your mom always found it, or
Yeah,
your mom
yeah,
always knew where it was.
yeah,
So I think that's like a whole play on that too.
yeah,
Like that, like, oh, I can't find it. Did you look? I looked all over. I looked there and it
yeah.
ends up being there all the time. So you're like,
But
something's playing a
yeah,
joke on me. The
but yeah.
Icelandic people would say Alps were playing jokes on
Okay. So I so
you. They
when
believe in elves. You know that, right?
it's oh my god. So there are two things that are crazy about this film, and I know it's
Okay.
animated, but whatever. When the moving truck, when the toys open the truck, right? When Woody opens the truck and stuff, the driver would be like, wouldn't he know that shit is just falling out of the truck? And then when that ramp goes down, like it's like the truck driver is just it's like, oh, yeah, it's whatever. We're just gonna
Dude,
keep
the ramp
driving.
would they mess everything up. And another thing is the remote control
Yeah.
car with a toy with a rocket on it. You tell me nobody's around?
No one was outside. There's not
What
one.
are they moving on a Monday at like 9 a.m.
But it's
when
also goes
nobody's
through
around?
traffic. Remember, it went through traffic. I mean, someone would have seen that.
Dude, you got to see too. They cause traffic accidents. These toys are killing people.
The death toll is crazy. But so when they,
We need to see the aftermath of toys being around.
yeah, well, yeah, but like that. So when they are in the air after like the rocket is set off, right?
Yeah.
The oh Jesus, I'm in a park, people. So when they're
Some
flying,
somebody's like, "This is a guy talking about toys having souls after they die."
so they're flying. How is he gliding? He wouldn't be gliding. I don't
Dude,
care.
he falls with style.
Oh bullshit. So then when he falls with style in the car, it's two heavy toys. They gotta be Buzz Lightyear's heavy. When it falls in that box that Andy is sitting literally next to, he has no peripheral vision. I would have seen those toys fall through the sunroof and just hit that box.
Yeah.
Like I would have been like, oh my.
Mom's
But
oblivious too.
the mom's oblivious. Like she didn't see any of this happen ever.
No.
That or she knows it's happening.
Yeah.
If she knows it's happening when she stepped on those toys and then kicked them to the side like garbage, it was just like whatever.
Ah.
But one of my favorite parts, if not my favorite part, were the aliens. I love the aliens when he's in there.
Oh,
That little alien cult, like he was chosen, he was chosen,
yes.
and then he
Yeah,
feeds the one he
The
feeds the one
claw.
alien to the dog.
Oh my
I'm
god.
like, that was horrifying. I was like, oh Jesus Christ.
And dogs can hear them. You know
That's
that.
right. So the
The
dogs
dogs
must be
know.
seeing these toys like moving around.
Absolutely. That's why dogs go crazy with toys.
Oh my god. So what was your favorite
They
part,
just
Manny?
basically want to kill toys.
So what was your favorite part?
Uh damn, that's um I mean, I always remember the alien part
Mm-hmm.
and like talking about the claw.
Mm-hmm.
Um I don't know what my favorite part is. I guess shit. I think my favorite part is the first 20 minutes of that movie.
Like Rocky Five.
Sure. Ah, No, just because like all the jokes come out then. I mean,
Yeah.
there's jokes throughout it. All the jokes come out then. They
Yeah.
basically get right to the point where this movie is about toys and the imagination of toys. And even I will say this: the beginning and the end of where, first of all, it takes them so long to move out of this house, right?
Oh
To
my
the point
God.
where
That
they
four
change
boxes.
to the point where they changed the sheets from Woody sheets to Buzz sheets,
Lots
right?
of
And
time
Buzz,
went by.
yeah. So the fact that they show at the end that Andy has now combined Woody and Buzz together,
Yeah.
he's got like Buzz and Woody sheets and
Hmm.
pillows and posters. I thought it was cool. Um, I don't know how you're doing that. How like are you like manifesting that out of the child? Because like why is he like doubling up, but
Right,
maybe
right,
I
right.
guess I did that too as a kid. It's not I wasn't discriminatory towards toys, but if I got a new toy I was going to play with that one first.
Hmm.
um but like I think I just liked the beginning part because you still see the kid interacting with the toy
Mm,
and like being um the imagination of what's going on with the toy and the kid and the life that he is, the cardboard box with the bank and all that stuff. So I was kind of more like going back to like me playing with toys.
mm.
And then the rest of it was cool. It was just a buddy story, right? It was a coming of
Yeah,
age story. It was a realization story, and you got a friend and me. Like it's a best friend story, right? They
yeah,
become best friends,
yeah,
all
yeah.
for the sake of Andy, who's their god, apparently. But like,
Thank God.
but yeah, but I think my favorite is
Yeah,
seeing Andy with all the toys in the beginning and like the
mm,
imagination with the crayon on the boxes
yeah,
and he turns the boxes and it turns into a bank and then it's
yeah.
like cows and like just remembering what it was like. And I think again I brought this up in the hangout episode, like
Hmm.
playing with action figures, playing with toys,
Yeah,
personifying everything.
yeah.
Like Andy was really good at imagination.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it was cool. I was it
And so was, I know you didn't like Sid, but Sid, when he was talking to himself and
yeah.
doing the whole like, we
Sure.
have lunch and all that stuff,
Yeah.
even though he was a psycho, he still had imagination going on. Like
Oh,
he's personifying,
yeah. He had a
you know,
very evil imagination.
yes,
But yeah, and apparently that toolbox was the Binford toolbox from Home Improvement.
of course it was. And Sid, goes on to like changing his life and protecting toys at all
Oh, I
costs.
can't wait to see this.
Okay.
Um, but okay, well, Manny, I think it's time. We talked about toys having souls and living forever and everything.
I
I
don't
think
even
we
know. Did you set up a timer for this?
Yeah, I did. It went off
Okay. All right.
a little bit ago. Well, just like a few minutes ago. Now,
All right.
here we are putting the Toy Story 1 to the test. Manny, what do you think? Does Toy Story 1 pass the nostalgia test?
Absolutely. I think it still stands a chance. It has a great story. One of the better of Pixar's. I think Pixar's been striking out lately. I
Really?
think
You didn't like Soul?
no.
Really?
Yeah, I
I
thought it was
cried.
good. I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was this good.
Mm.
I thought also Elemental, right? I thought Elemental was
Ooh,
great.
I want to see that. I
Had a
saw
good
it.
story. It was basically about immigration. And like, why town, like why Little Italy starts, why,
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Mineola,
Okay.
like why Mineola started. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like the fire is supposed to be like a
Mm.
certain heritage and they start a fire town and they have fire traditions and like there's
Oh.
the water town and like you got to watch it. It was good, but
Hmm.
like nothing hits like 1995 to 90 to 2005 Pixar. Like
Okay.
those Pixars were crazy.
Okay, so before you okay, so you're like it passes the test. So I just want you to know about some of the movies that came out in 1995. So we just put to in context like how successful Toy Story was. So some of the popular movies in 1995 was Batman Forever, okay, Billy Madison, Casper, Showgirls came out in 1995. That wasn't a good movie at all. Mortal Kombat, that really wasn't that good. Tommy Boy, Heavyweights, Hackers, Mallrats, Empire Records, Clueless came out in 1995.
Wow.
Friday, that came out in 1995. Major Pain came out in 1995. Casino. I mean, a bunch of other ones I'm skipping over that weren't that great. Dead Presidents. That came out in 1995.
Whoa.
Get Shorty, Braveheart. So it was more successful than Braveheart, Pocahontas, Apollo
You got
13.
some big bangers there.
Yeah,
Those
Apollo
are some
13.
good
Yeah.
movies, man.
I know.
Those are all movies come to the nostalgia test.
Yeah, just Dangerous Minds.
And
It
do
was
well.
Yeah, Mr.
And do
Holland's
well.
Opus. Yeah, they do well. Yeah. Well, Mr.
They would
Holland's
do
Opus,
well.
I can't.
They would stand a chance of passing.
The Goofy movie.
Oh my God. I don't know if
Heat,
that would
which
pass.
I don't know if a Heat would definitely. I don't know if that would pass in nostalgia.
It was
That's
way too long.
It's too long.
Too long.
Yeah. So that's I mean.
All I can remember about that movie that it was long.
Yeah, and that Val Kilmer's in it.
Yeah.
But I would say like Toy Story. After our discussion, the moon's out right now. That because of the complexity of our conversation and the whole thing about toys living forever. I'm gonna say Toy Story passes the nostalgia test. I think it's a really great film. I think it starts the whole Pixar thing. It was really great. It could have been, a big mistake. Obviously, it could have like totally just been horrible, and then we would never had any of these Pixar movies. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the other ones because like I've never seen them before. But definitely it was a good one. I thought more happened, but maybe that's because it's a kids movie. So
it's a kids movie. Nothing happens in a kids movie. So definitely pass the test.
Yeah.
Let's do a let us know what you guys think. Let us know if we should do 2, 3, and 4. I would like to. It would be interesting for us to do it just because I want to hear you. Yeah, because you've never seen them.
That would be amazing. Because I think we have a new segment. I think like bring something that you haven't seen. And I haven't seen.
Yeah, and I think we have a lot of people that have been guests on this show that would love to talk about Pixar and the universe and just the Toy Story universe. Like I know to me they all pass, but like so it's like, why are we putting them on? I know Steve wants us to argue, but I'd like to actually see your reaction to never seeing it.
Oh, I think I'm gonna end up crying the whole time. But
dude, I think 2 is the best.
But I'm looking.
I would argue that 2 is two is my favorite.
Okay, so we'll see once we watch them all. We'll rank them just like the Rocky movies.
Okay,
but
I go 2-1. I'd go 2-1 4-3.
Wow. Okay, I have no idea. I don't know any contact. So, but people, like Manny said, comment, tell us if you think Toy Story 1 passes the nostalgia test, and also like the podcast. It's the only way that we can grow. But we really appreciate a like, a comment. You could like the podcast and give us a 5-star rating on Spotify or Apple or Good Pods or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out the our Instagram at the Nostalgia Test. Our TikTok, which I don't know, are we still doing that, Manny?
Kind of.
At the Nostalgia
Test.
Kind of.
Just freaking listen to us, man.
Yeah,
like
and
the Instagram stuff is starting to get annoying. Threads. Threads is another annoying thing.
Yeah, but
that's all you. I'll let you deal with Threads.
But yeah, listen and share the podcast.
Twitter. It's Twitter for Instagram.
Oh, yeah. And share the podcast with a best friend. Listen to it together, and then
by the next episode, I'm getting the merch up. I don't care anymore. We're paying the taxes on it. It's happening, and we got to do over the top.
Yeah, adult babies. We're doing over the top.
We're
coming for you. But everyone, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, Manny. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. Please subscribe to the Nostalgia Test podcast to know when new episodes drop. Don't forget to leave us 5 stars and a positive review so more people can find the podcast. Share your thoughts and memories on today's topic on our Twitter at Nostalgia Test and on Instagram at the Nostalgia Test. Tune in next time because you never know what pop culture will pop up on the Nostalgia Test.